Dennis Prager here. Thanks for listening to the Daily Dennis Prager Podcast. To hear the entire 3 hours of my radio show, commercial-free, every single day, become a member of Pragertopia. You'll also get access to 15 years' worth of archives, as well as the daily show prep. Subscribe at Pragertopia.com. Hello, everybody. I'm Dennis Prager. Thank you for being with me. Real Clear Politics picked up my column this week. I like when they do because they are neither left nor right. They pick what they think are the most important columns of the day. I wish that all of you would be aware of my Tuesday column. There are 1,000 of them on the internet. This is 20 years. Politifact said that my claim that I made on one of my shows, that if you see a noose, I quote me directly, and their quote of me directly, if you see a noose on a college dorm of a black student, the odds are overwhelming that the noose was put there by a black student. If you see the N-word on a dormitory building, the odds are overwhelming that a black student actually did that. We are filled with race hoaxes. So Politifact, which is a left-wing, therefore dishonest fact checker, I put that in quotes, said it was false. And the obvious nature of their lie was that they said, look, the FBI statistics with regard to hate crimes, how much are directed against blacks? Not by blacks, presumably, and I believe that. But if you go to the FBI, it has nothing to do with what I said. Nooses and N-words on college campuses. So the Politifact lied. It was an out-and-out lie. It's a complete non sequitur. It would be if I said, I can't even make up something. It's so absurd. If I said you were beaten up by a guy at a drugstore, and then somebody would say, "Well, this guy didn't stab you." That would be the equivalent. I actually figured one out. So you would say, "But I didn't say he stabbed me. I said he beat me." Oh, no, you're false. He didn't stab you. Politifact lies because it's kosher to lie on the left. You don't understand the left if you don't understand they have a different value system. Liberals think it's wrong to lie, and conservatives think it's wrong to lie, and the left thinks it's right to lie if it advances their cause. They don't have the same moral compass that others do. They crap on the idea that there is a God who says don't lie in the Ten Commandments. They think the idea is absurd. People who believe in that are, in any event, like who accused? All these New York Times respondents speaking about DeSantis as advocating a theocracy. So I demolished Politifact. As my title is, Politifact is to fact what Pravda was to truth. They use the name, but it's a gigantic lie. You should read my column. It's up at, you're putting up the RCP, it's on the DennisPrager.com?
Well, your column's at Dennis Prager.
Yeah, the column is at DennisPrager.com, but if you want to if you want to send it to somebody, maybe send it from Real Clear Politics, because that's not a conservative site. And let me give you some of the examples. I'm consulting with a lawyer about suing the. I don't know if I will. I want to check what would be involved. The fact that Politifact is just a left-wing lying institute, and the Poynter Institute, which funds them, is that they went to an America hater named Brian Levin, director of the Center for Hating America. Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism at Cal State San Bernardino. Yes, they not only study hate, they promulgate hate there. Mr. Prager is long on hyperbole and bigotry and short on facts. What Prager claimed is a lie. Okay, so since what I said is true and nobody refuted it, I think what he said about me qualifies as defamation. So I may in fact consult with a lawyer. I definitely will, and I'll see what I do. I mean, that's pure lying about me, and it is done with malice. It seems to qualify, because I'm 40 years of broadcasting, I haven't lied. I've made mistakes, but I've never lied. I don't lie. Period. And they gave no evidence, none, that I lied. None. All hate crimes. That's what they end with. So I went to the FBI list. You know what the FBI list, did you see it? It's really astonishing. These are, they have hate crimes under different categories. So they include disability, gender identity, commerce violations, drug offenses, and gambling offenses. What does that have to do with what I said about nooses and the N-word on college campuses? Nothing. Politifact lied, and this guy Levin at this America-hating center, I love the name, Center, what is it? For the Study of Hate. Whoa. Wow. Center for the Study of Hate. I got it. I wonder, I looked it up, I couldn't find any. Has Politifact ever given a rating to Men Give Birth? Did they ever give a rating to Russia and Trump colluding in his campaign, the 2-year lie? Did they ever rate it? Did they ever rate the Notebook when it was necessary to rate it, a month before, or the?
Are you talking about the Steele document?
No, the Biden Notebook.
Oh, the Biden Notebook.
Yeah, the laptop. That's not notebook, laptop.
The Hunter Biden laptop.
I'm sorry?
The Hunter Biden laptop.
The Hunter Biden, yes. Hunter. So, I give example after example, and these are not even close to exhausting the list. In 2007, I give for the last 15 years. Madonna G. Constantine, a psychology and education professor at Teachers College, Columbia University, claimed she found a noose at her door. ABC News described her as a respected professor at Columbia University Teachers College. This incident is the latest in a growing number of noose incidents in the United States, another lying organization, ABC News, since the one that punctuated the racially charged controversy at Genoa, Louisiana. Of course, the one at Genoa, Louisiana was not a noose. The subsequent investigation revealed that Constantine made it all up. In 2013, Oberlin College shut down classes after a series of purported hate crimes. According to the Oberlin Review, anti-black and anti-gay vandalism, hate speech, have plagued the campus. Whites only was written above a water fountain. N-word oven was written inside the elevator, and no ends was written on a dormitory bathroom door. Activists implied the incidents were tied to Black History Month, as was a menacing person on campus who allegedly donned a, quote, KKK hood and robe near a black dormitory known as Afrikaan with a K Heritage House. It was all a hoax. No one wore a KKK hood and robe. It was a woman wearing a coat. Cornell University law professor William Jacobson, who tracked the Oberlin story on his blog, Legal Insurrection, said the fraudulent incidents at Oberlin may be the greatest race hoax since Tawana Brawley. In 2013, at Vassar colleges, messages such as avoid being B-word for women, F ends, F-word, N-word, and hate tranny, know your place, were all a hoax carried out by the left-wing leader of the school's official bias incident response team. Please help fight the lying left and just pass on my column. It's at DennisPrager.com or at RealClearPolitics.com. Spring and summer are the seasons for finally getting outdoors for entertaining, pool parties, and barbecues. But if your yard looks like a plant cemetery, you're not going to enjoy it as much. So get your place looking like a resort easy with fast-growing trees. When it comes to caring for your plants, know-how matters. There's no waiting in lines, no messy cars from hauling plants all over town. You order online or over the phone, your plants are shipped to your door in 1 to 2 days, and their growing and care advice is available 24/7. Whether you're looking for increased privacy, shade, or adding some natural beauty, fast-growing trees have the perfect plants and expertise to help you find them. I'm a big fan of fast-growing trees, so I give you my personal endorsement of them. They have a 30-day Alive and Thrive guarantee, so you can trust everything will be healthy for years to come. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com/Prager, and you'll get 15% off your entire order. 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com/Prager, fastgrowingtrees.com/Prager. So, Politifact lied about me, and the Center to Promote Hate at San Bernardino also lied about me. Oh, no, that's not the official name, but that's what it is. And this guy, Brian Levin, he's invited onto my show. I called him a punk in my column. He is. But he's invited on, and I even treat punks. I treated Howard Zinn, who was a punk. These people live to do damage to this wonderful country. That's their existence. It's sick. It's morally sick, but that's what they do. They make a good living crapping on America. You can make a much better living crapping on America in this country than you can defending America. I make a living defending America. I absolutely acknowledge that. Actually, I make a living defending the truth. I certainly didn't defend America during the lockdowns. I didn't defend America when kids were not going to school. I didn't defend Americans who acted like sheep for the last 2 years. I defend the truth, and the truth is that until very recently, this was the freest country in the history of the world. Anyway, I repeat what they said was false. I repeat it because it's true. And I gave about a dozen examples. There are probably 50, maybe more, of hoaxes at campuses, specifically campuses, nooses and N-word. I was very specific. They weren't. They just talked about hate crimes. How's this? 2013 at Clemson University, administrators accused white students of a hate crime. Banana peels hanging from a tree branch. And they knew it was a hoax. The incident was dubbed Bananagate. 2013, University of Iowa, a black student claimed he was beaten up at a bar, prompting massive campus outrage, but police later determined the alleged victim was actually, quote, an active participant and even an instigator of it. That's what prompted James Taranto, one of the editors at the Wall Street Journal, to write in 2013, why are phony hate crimes so common, especially on college campuses? Politifact was around since 2007. Why didn't they rate James Taranto false? I don't know the answer. Maybe they've even gotten more dishonest over the course of time as the left has derided truth even more. 2014, University of Chicago student who claimed his Facebook page was hacked and filled with racist and violent messages against him and another student faked the attack. He was a white leftist. I should have said in my original thing, white leftists and blacks. 2015, a Muslim University of Texas student claimed she was stalked and threatened by an anti-Muslim man with a gun. She later confessed she made up the incident. 2015, University of Delaware students discovered 3 nooses near the hall where the Black Lives Matter group had protested conservative commentator Katie Pavlich the day before. Turned out the objects were, quote, remnants of paper lanterns, unquote, left over from a previous event. In 2015, a bag of poop was found at the doorstep of Vanderbilt University's Black Cultural Center. Most of the school initially believed it was put there due to racism. It turned out that a blind female student walking her dog could not find a trash can to throw away the guide dog's excrement. 2015, Keene University. I think that's in New Jersey. Is it? Do you know? Yeah. The person behind the, quote, I will kill every black male and female at Keene University tweet, and similar ones, was a black female activist, a former president of its Pan-African Student Union. 2015, at Delta College in Michigan, a social media post read, I'm going to shoot every black person I can on campus starting tomorrow morning. It was posted by a black student. 2014, a Grand Valley State University student who found racist graffiti, Black B Die and F Black History Month on her dorm room's door whiteboard in mid-February was the person who put it there, the Grand Valley Police Department announced. In 2016, at Elon University in North Carolina, a scribbled "Bye-bye Latinos, hasta la vista" after the 2016 election turned out to be written by a Latino student. In 2016, 3 black SUNY Albany students fabricated a racial hate crime. They alleged they were the targets of racial slurs and attacks by a group of white men on a bus. But video evidence and 9/11 audio showed the black women, were the instigators. In 2016, ABC News reported that Bowling Green University, quote, police say students lied about politically driven attack, unquote. Elisha Long, a black student, said she was assaulted and called a racial slur. She made the story up. 2016, a female Muslim Baruch College student who claimed she was assaulted on a New York subway train by 3 drunk white men shouting Donald Trump was arrested for making up the whole thing. In 2017, the College Fix chronicled 17 race hoaxes on campuses in 2017 alone. I'm Dennis Prager, 1-8-PRAGER-776.
The Dennis Prager Show.
Many people own coins that have not performed as well as they'd expected. Some own coins that have done better than they expected. Or maybe you just want to cash out and do something else with the money. Markets change, and to understand the current value of your precious metals portfolio, you should get a new valuation. So I'd like to tell you about my friend, and he is, otherwise I never use that term, Nick Rovich. Became my friend because I so admire his honesty and integrity and knowledge of the coin world, of the gold world, the silver world. He's owner of AmFed Coin and Bullion. For over 40 years, Nick has built a reputation for trust and honesty, and his goal is to earn your business for life. Nick won't push you to sell, but when you're ready, I believe he offers the best price, trade, and consignment deals compared to anyone. Right now, Nick and the AmFed team are offering their exclusive coin performance review for free. That's right, free, with a no-pressure guarantee from Nick. Call Nick at 800-221-7694. That's 800-221-7694. Hi, everybody. You're listening to the Dennis Prager Show. I'd like you to see my column today, my website, Town Hall, Real Clear Politics. Then we'll move on to Daily Wire, American Greatness, etc. But you could start with my website or Town Hall or Real Clear Politics about how Politifact lied about me. Pure lie, 100% lie. Said that what I said was false, and I prove it's a lie. They quote left-wing liars to support their lie. And I'm thinking of suing one of the leftists that they cited, the man who's the director of the Center to Promote Hate at Cal State San Bernardino. Its official name is... What the hell's its official name? Let's see. I love the official name. Find Center.
I'll find it.
Yeah, Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism. It's the Center to Promote Hate and Extremism. They got one word wrong. Guy named Brian Levin, whom I might sue for saying I lied. I don't care when I'm called names, but that's the one thing that I stake my life, really, my reputation on being a truth teller. So this guy lied about me, this Levin, this creep, and I'm thinking of a lawyer's already contacted me, said I have a great case, because he said I lied, and I didn't, and he offered zero evidence that I lied. Now, this is not a personal thing. I don't lose any sleep over this, but fighting the left is the greatest moral thing you could do for Western civilization at this time. Okay? They hate good, and we must fight them. A lot of liberals don't join the fight against the left, even though the left has utter and total contempt for liberal values, because they're weak. It's much easier to fight the right than fight the left. You're not going to get hurt if you fight the right. You're not going to be fired. You're not going to be canceled. Nothing will happen. So it's, let's pick on the evangelicals. Somehow or other, evangelicals don't seem to be beating people up. Very easy to fight the right. Much tougher. You pay a much bigger price fighting the left. Anyway, please get the column. Please read it. It's a devastating attack on Politifact, the Poynter Institute, which funds them, and this Center to Promote Hate and Extremism. The president just spoke at Buffalo. Let's hear some of the speech.
Jill and I bring you this message from deep in our nation's soul. In America, evil will not win, I promise you. Hate will not prevail. And white supremacy will not have the last word.
So this guy came to office trying to unite, right? I'm going to unite Americans. He's the most divisive president, including Trump, in American history. The guy hates his own country. It's a gigantic lie. It is a gigantic lie. It is the big lie of fascism, communism, Nazism, that white supremacy is this great threat in America. All it is a way of the left gaining more power. They've created a boogeyman. Is white supremacy evil? Yes, it is. Is it rampant? No, it's not. That's the lie. The left is an infinitely greater threat to the West and to the United States than white supremacy. Not because white supremacy is not evil, but because it is minuscule in its power compared to the left. The left is a completely destructive force. All it does is destroy. From medicine to the arts, whatever the left touches, it destroys. Biden is now a leftist. He's destroying what is good in this country. He is a hate monger in his speech in Buffalo. What you just heard is hate mongering. Continue.
For the evil did come to Buffalo. It's come to all too many places. Manifesting gunmen who massacred innocent people in the name of hateful and perverse ideology, rooted in fear and racism. It's taken so much. 10 lives cut short in a grocery store. Three other wounded by a hate-filled individual who had driven 200 miles from Binghamton in that range to carry out a murderous, racist rampage that he would live stream to the world. What happened here is simple and straightforward. Terrorism. Domestic terrorism. Violence inflicted in the service of hate and the vicious thirst for power that defines one group of people being inherently inferior to any other group.
By the way, isn't that what the left says about whites? I was taught that at Columbia in the 70s. Whites can be racist, but blacks cannot be. Doesn't that make a white inherently inferior? I'm leaving silence. I want people to meditate on that for a moment. If only whites can be racist, then whites are inherently inferior. Okay, continue.
A hate that through the media and politics, the internet, has radicalized, angry, alienated, lost, and isolated.
It certainly has. It's called left-wing hate. It has radicalized the generation. That is correct. That they could boo a Wyoming senator, as I just played last hour, when she said science tells us there were two sexes. That's correct. That when Ben Shapiro went to Berkeley, they spent $600,000 on security. You are the source of hate. You Democrats. You Joe Biden. You spread more hate as president than any president in American history. You are a hate monger. You are a hate deliverer. Go on, please.
Angry, alienated, lost, and isolated individuals into falsely believing that they will be replaced, that's the word, replaced, by the other, by people who don't look like them, and who are, therefore, in a perverse ideology that they possess and being fed lesser beings. I and all of you reject the lie. I call on all Americans to reject the lie. And I condemn those...
How many Americans, President Biden, accept the belief that whites are inherently superior? How many? What percentage of Americans believe that, Mr. President? Just curious. Do you know any personally? I don't. Just curious. Are you for all black dorms on campuses, Mr. President? Your party is. The New York Times is. The LA Times is. Your entire world of sick and perverse ideas believe in black dormitories and black graduations, like at Columbia. Who's the racist, Mr. President, the left or the right? We don't give a damn about color. You're preoccupied with color. You, sir, Your entire world of your party are the racists of America. Continue, though.
And I condemn those who spread the lie for power, political gain, and for profit.
Oh, sounds like him. Sounds like the left. Who's gaining from political power? I'm just curious, who's getting political power from white supremacy? Of course, their answer is every Republican. That's the way they smear us. And gullible liberals believe them. When everything the left stands for is antithetical to liberalism. We'll hear what else the hate-monger-in-chief has to say. The man who came to unite Americans.
The Dennis Prager Show.
Towels just don't seem to dry you anymore. They feel soft and lotiony in the store, but you get them home and they don't absorb. Well, Mike Lindell at MyPillow found that out around 2006, and towels changed forever. He found the best towel company right here in the USA. They have proprietary technology to create towels that feel soft but actually work, and that happens to be true. I use them. They are all made with USA cotton, and they come with the MyPillow 60-day money-back guarantee. 6-piece set, 2 bath, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths. Regularly $109.99, now $39.99. Just go to MyPillow.com and click on the new radio listener specials and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including the towels, by entering the promo code Prager, or call 800-761-6302 for these great radio specials. MyPillow.com, promo code Prager. Hate-monger known as Joe Biden spreads hate whenever he speaks. He would sell this country down for an electoral electoral victory. The gist of his speech is, if you vote Republican, you're voting for white supremacy. This is the LA Times, New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, your university. This is the great grand lie, the civilization-destroying lie, so that the left can have power. They want power. They will do anything for power. There has never been an exception to this rule about the left. Liberals have laws governing their behavior, and so do conservatives. Leftists do not. This is a hate-filled lie, this whole speech in Buffalo. It is using a tragedy for pure, cynical political gain. I have never had contempt for a president, never, that I have for this man. The only thing Joe Biden is concerned with is Joe Biden. He would sell this country for 2 votes. We continue.
And I condemn those who spread the lie for power, political gain, and for profit.
Wow, that's right, because if you don't agree with me, that's all you want is political gain and profit. It's projection.
We've not seen too many times the deadly and destructive violence this ideology unleashes. We heard the chants, "You will not replace us," in Charlottesville, Virginia.
How many people were in Charlottesville, Virginia? Seriously, how many people chanted that?
I don't think there were more than
100. 100? Mm-hmm. And how many people tore down this country in 2020? Tens of thousands. Phony. This man's a phony. Continue.
I wasn't going to run, as the senator knows, again for president. When I saw those people...
Oh, that's what did it.
Coming out of the woods of the fields in Virginia.
You'll bail us out.
Carrying torches, shouting, "You will not replace us," accompanied by white supremacists and carrying Nazi banners. So I said, no. No. And I, honest to God, those who know me, Chuck, I wasn't going to run for certain. But I was going to be darned if I was going to let anyway. I'm going to get going. Look, we've seen the mass shootings in Charleston, South Carolina, El Paso, Texas, and Pittsburgh, last year in Atlanta. this week in Dallas, Texas, and now in Buffalo, New York.
How many people, Mr. President, were murdered this past week in the United States? 100-something, correct? Has he ever said a word about that? A word? They don't matter. When blacks kill blacks, it is of no interest to the left. Blacks are to be used for political power. Some blacks understand that. Women are used, blacks are used, gays are used. You're used. And many allow themselves to be used. Jews as well, and I'm a Jew. Oh, yeah, it's going to protect us against the anti-Semite Trump. Remember that? The anti-Semite. Yep. First big anti-Semite with Jewish children and grandchildren. Another gigantic lie about Trump and anti-Semitism. If you tell a Jewish leftist, but the guy did more for Israel than any other president, the Jewish leftist will say, I don't give a damn about Israel. So there you go. So it's not even an argument. No difference between a leftist Jew, I'm not talking liberal Jews, a leftist Jew and a leftist non-Jew. They both hate Israel. They both hate America. I don't know what they don't hate. Go on.
White supremacy is a poison. It's a poison.
Yeah.
Running through it really is.
Yes, but the left is the poison.
Running through our body politic.
Yeah,
it's been allowed to
wait a minute.
fester.
It's running through our body politic? See, this is the message. Vote Republican, you are voting for white supremacy. It's running through. I can't help the country. I have hurt this country horribly. You can't get infant formula. You can't buy gas without spending a lot more money. Everything is inflation. We are a weaker country since I became president. As I asked Neil Ferguson, the great former Harvard professor of history, now at Stanford's Hoover Institution, and I had no idea what he would answer. I asked him on this show, would Putin have invaded Ukraine if Trump were president? No. Everything this man touches has turned to crap. He has done more damage to this country in a year and a half than any president in American history, maybe Andrew Johnson, accepted. It's a long time ago, 1860s. This is, but, so what can he do? What can the whole left do? Tell you that you got to vote Democrat or you're voting for white supremacy. It's coursing through the bloodstream of our society. And it's all people hear. The average New York Times reader truly believes that Republicans are white supremacists by and large. Go ahead, please.
And it's been allowed to fester and grow right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, it's festering and growing.
I mean, no more. We need to say as clearly and forcefully as we can that the ideology of white supremacy has no place in America. None.
Wow. Okay, I say that too. I agree.
And look,
has no place in America.
Failure for us to not say that, failure in saying that, is going to be complicity. Silence is complicity. It's complicity. We cannot remain silent. Our nation's strength has always come from the idea. Yeah. It's going to sound corny, but think about it. What's the idea of our nation? That we're all children of God. Mm-hmm. All life, liberty, our universal goods, gifts of God. We didn't get it from a government. We got it from because we exist. We're called upon to defend them.
Okay. We'll be back in a moment. So we have a debate here whether to continue with the hate-monger speech. Hate-monger happens to be President of the United States. That's all he is. I've had enough, but, well, it's not a democracy, my show. I do take the vote seriously. So my colleagues would like me to continue. More of the hate monger.
The venom of the haters and their weapons of war, the violence and the words and deeds that stalk our streets, our stores, our schools. This venom, this violence
What's he talking
cannot
about?
be the story of our time.
What is he talking
We
about?
cannot allow that to happen.
What is he talking
Look,
about?
I'm not naive.
No, you're a
I
liar.
know tragedy will come again. It cannot be forever overcome. It cannot be fully understood either.
This is what he's making
certain
his
things
last
we-
stand on. His presidency is a complete failure. Complete. So what he's doing is he is stoking fear of white supremacy in order to have Democrats elected. That's all he's doing. The man would sell this country for a vote. We have a lowlife for a president. I've never spoken this way in 40 years with Democrat or Republican as president. This man is really a bad human being. He lies with the best of them, and he will do anything, and most Democrats today will. Because the left has taken over. They've conquered the liberals. Daniel Patrick Moynihan would not talk this way. Henry Jackson would not have talked this way, talking about senators, Democratic senators from the age of John F. Kennedy. There was a different world then. Liberals live in their little cocoons and think that they're still voting for Daniel Patrick Moynihan and Scoop Jackson. They don't realize that they're voting for the left because they've been taught that, and now you're seeing it. Danger is on the right. White supremacy. So let me understand. The people who want blacks to abort as many babies as possible are pro-black. The people who want to preserve every black baby, they're racist. Get it? Is that correct or is that incorrect, you lying president? Who wants more dead black babies? The left or the right? Answer that. Okay? You want to call them fetuses? Fine. Who wants more dead black fetuses? White leftists or white rightists? For that matter, black leftists. I tell you, given the racism of the right, it's remarkable how much they fight to preserve every black baby. Bizarre, no? There's a gigantic lie about the white supremacy of the conservatives. Without lying, there is no left. Just remember that. There is no left without lies. And he's the chief liar, the President of the United States. This is a hate-mongering, divisive, screw-the-country speech from a loathsome human being named Joe Biden. The man is loathsome. The people who support him support someone loathsome. Kamala Harris is equally loathsome. This is the sad state of this country at this time. This is a hate-filled speech for political gain. I will use dead blacks to get votes. That is the name of this speech. Continue.
We can keep assault weapons off our streets. We've done it before. I did it when we passed the crime bill last time, and violence went down, shootings went down. You can't prevent people from being radicalized to violence, but we can address the relentless exploitation of the internet to recruit and mobilize terrorism.
Really?
We just need to have the courage to do that, to stand up.
So it's recruiting terrorism.
Look, the American
So
experience.
what all this is an invitation to more censorship. That's what it is. You're not radicalized to hate this country, to hate the West. No, that's not radicalization. There's no radicalization on the left. There's only radicalization on the right. All right, I've had enough, guys. I'm sorry. I am hereby declare us Biden free.
I wasn't born this way. I've been living a lie, they say. So when they brought me to my knees, well, I had everything. So tell me, would you please? How could I possibly have needed so much more?
This, my friends, is the Ultimate Issues Hour. How much does a person's theology affect their behavior and their values? It's a very interesting question and a very important one. I mean, left-wing and right-wing Christians, left-wing and right-wing Jews have nothing in common in terms of values. The gulf between left and right is cavernous, canyon-esque, and unbridgeable. Well, I'll put it to you another way. A religious Christian or Jew who is conservative has far, 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 far more in common in terms of values and behavior with a conservative secular person than with a left-wing fellow Jew or fellow Christian, and vice versa, obviously. So two Christians may have identical theologies. Christ died for their sins. He is the way to salvation. The New Testament reflects that, and the Old Testament is obviously Holy Writ. And yet they may have completely different values and completely different behaviors that emanate from those values, but they have virtually identical theology. My question about theology is not for the sake of having an interesting dialogue. It's one that I grapple with. How much does theology affect people's values and behavior? I think in my case, it completely affects it. But I have to challenge myself because, A, there are people who don't even have any theology who have my values and with whom I share values. And there are people with different theologies with whom I have everything in common. It may not be answerable. I tried to reduce to the most basic form. It's like the search for the basic component of life. Is it the atom? Is it the nucleus? Is it the electron? What is the basic element of life? What is the basic element, or what are the basic elements, theologically speaking, in a person's life that shape their values? That's why I write my Bible commentary, is because I think that people have abandoned biblical values, even religious people, because they don't realize the values of the Bible, especially the first 5 books, which are the foundation of everything else in the Old and New Testaments. Okay, let me take your calls. Brian in Philadelphia, Dennis Prager, hello.
Hello, Dennis. Somewhat of a long-time listener. Really appreciate your views and your insight. And what I really appreciate about your show, and this, I don't mean to bash your contemporaries, but you don't like to argue with people. You just like to get to the point, to the facts.
Well, yeah, that's interesting. I don't like to argue with people, but I end up doing it on occasion.
Occasionally.
But you're right, I don't like it. You're
we
right.
all do.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
But what I wanted to say was I was born and raised a Roman Catholic. I converted to Christianity, I say, put it that way, as a Protestant about 30 years ago. And what I have learned just from reading Scripture, both Old and New Testament, is the difference between or how people have the same values but yet have a different theology It's based on the why of why they do things. Why do you do good deeds, or why do you have those values? And in Roman Catholicism, at least in my learning of it, it was you have faith in what God tells you to have faith in, to believe in God, to believe in Jesus Christ. But you also are required to do good works to earn God's favor and grace.
Yeah, this is a very interesting thing you just raised, because in that sense, Jewish and Catholic theologies are more similar.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The moment you use the word earn, you have entered Jewland.
Uh-huh. And Catholicism, for that matter.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
And Catholicism.
Oh, yeah, no, I say you, yes, but only because Judaism preceded Catholicism. I'm only talking chronologically, otherwise I'd put it the other way around. And yet, for much of Catholic history, there was such a hostility to the Jews, and it's not true today, but it was, which is also a puzzle. Or outside of the church, there is no salvation. So then, how much earning? I think what we have here is the healthiest religion in history, and that is American Judeo-Christian values. This country is unique in so many ways, even religiously. Dennis Prager, Ultimate Issues Hour. Dennis Prager here. Thanks for listening to the Daily Dennis Prager Podcast. To hear the entire 3 hours of my radio show, commercial-free, every single day, become a member of Pragertopia. You'll also get access to 15 years' worth of archives, as well as the daily show prep. Subscribe at pragertopia.com.